Hi guys, and welcome back to another video about the workaround for the zero kilobyte glitch. I recently had somebody that commented on on that video and said to unplug the console and plug it back in when you get the zero kilobyte glitch. I did try it and it does kind of work, but it only works for a short period, then I've got it happening again. So when you're in this situation, especially people that use like survival mode, it requires you to sleep to be able to save it. So for my situation, it's a bit more difficult, and I wish he would stop just running off. He either runs off or gets stuck on something. He's fine. You're just gonna stay right there. The more often you interact with Creation Club content, him being one of them, the worse it can be. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to kind of talk through how to get it to save, and this doesn't always work. Sometimes it just does not want to work at all, but because I'm on a PlayStation 4 console, it's worse on here than any other console that you can get Fallout 4 on. This is also Creation Club content, so I like to leave this outside. So what I did is I downloaded mod that makes it so that you get these Pulaski preservation shelters, and you just get the card in museum, the Concord Museum thing. So what I do is once I've had the zero kilobyte glitch, I'm gonna go ahead and find the smallest interior location you can, so the least amount of loading. You'll have this pop up sometimes, not every time. I see it as a better chance. Let it sit for a few seconds. It seems to be more effective if you do. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try again, and it most likely won't work, but I've noticed that the faster... Okay, so right there it did actually pop up again. I know that you guys can't see that, nor can you see when I bring up my load screen. So what I did right there is I brought up the delete option, and the save didn't show up. So I just reopen it again, I close out of that, and I reopen it again, and the save will show up. So make sure that you're deleting that save, because it's a corrupted save, and it will corrupt the following saves. So then what you'll want to do is come back in here, go back outside, come back in, and kind of just repeat this process a few times. Sometimes it's best to just, rather than deleting it, go out and come back in. And I guess you don't really have to go to the extent of actually coming out of the Pulaski thing. I actually didn't really think that one through. But just kind of go in and out a few times until you're able to get it to save. And it, like I said, it might not at all. You might do this multiple times and it might not work. I'm actually going to go back out and come back in this time. It seems to work a little bit better if you do that. To me, it seems like it's a loading problem, because I'm not pausing it when I'm having that pop up there. It's just doing that. And there's no way it loaded that fast. I mean, I've gone into these things before, and it usually takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to try it again and keep repeating this process. It might save for you. And again, it did it again. So instead of deleting it in here, I'm going to go outside and then delete it. But like I said, you might have to repeat this process a lot, and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But for people like me, especially that play survival mode, and it didn't show up that time either, so I'm just going to go back into it, delete it again. For people like me that play on survival mode, it can be 10 times more of a pain, just because needing to sleep repeatedly causes illnesses, things like that. So you're going through antibiotics and drinks and food and all that kind of stuff non-stop. But that, and it also makes the day go by faster, and it's irritating. And it brought it up again. So like I said, you might get it to work, it might not. but just keep repeating that process. But you got to have a very small interior location for wow, okay. So Radstorm. That's a weather mod. Okay, so right there, it actually didn't pause me again. So I'm gonna hope that I can get this to actually save this time. Sometimes that's what kind of indicates that it might save, is that black screen doesn't pop up. Alright, now that I got that deleted again, we're going to try it one more time and see if it works. If it doesn't, try your best to continuously save, even if you are running survival mode. No, it still did. Alright, so yeah. Just make sure you're doing as much saving as you can, even in survival mode. That way, if you do have to go back, like I'm going to have to do, you won't have to go that far back. Then I would suggest what that person offered. Close your game, make sure you delete that corrupted save file, and close your game, shut off the console, unplug the console for at least 30 seconds, and plug it back in. This will at least buy you a few more saves, but make sure that you're saving every half hour or so, just in case, because otherwise you're going to potentially lose, an hour worth of work or something like that. And that Radstorm is still there. This weather mod's really good, but the Radstorms can kill you pretty quickly. I have had this work, and quite frequently actually, but the one place that it works best is in the root cellar in Sanctuary. I don't know why that particular location works so well. It might be that it has absolutely nothing to do with mods or Creation Club content at all. So I'm hoping, and not expecting, but hoping that Bethesda will release at least a minor update to try to help deal with this situation for PlayStation 4 consoles. I know that they're coming out with a next-gen update. And why is that Radstorm still there after that long? Anyway, I'm going to try that. I'm going to go up to Sanctuary. Sometimes leaving the area you're in where you had that and then going and doing this actually works better. I know that this is a lot of me talking, a lot of a longer video, and I apologize for that, but it's one of those situations that you're gonna probably spend a lot of time dealing with it. Thankfully, they did, for the most part, fix the problem on Skyrim, but it still happens here and there. I've had it happen even since this most previous update, and they said that they made it so it runs smoother with mods, things like that, but I still get blue screened all the time, or crashed, whatever, and it's very, 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 very aggravating to deal with, especially when you're losing an hour's worth of work, and then you just kind of get put off of the game, and you don't want to even bother playing it anymore, because it just keeps happening. This game is my absolute favorite game, so I don't want to have to give up on it just because of that. I did add quite a bit more Creation Club content since the last video, which has increased how much it's happening. I do not do the armor or weapon skins at all. I just don't care for them. I don't wear armor. I just use my power armor and that's it. And weapon skins, I just don't care. I don't pay any attention to it anyway. But I added things like the Tesla cannon, which absolutely fantastic gun. And I have a mod that I'm able to make my own legendaries. I also added the solar cannon. And that sound, that's not correct. I do have a mod that adds reverb and ambience, but it shouldn't be making that like quiet pop. That happened a lot with this the first time I had it, and that's what worried me about downloading it. And I think that that one and the combat rifle from Creation Club content are two of the buggiest ones you can get, and will add more and more problems as you go, especially revolving around 0 kilobyte glitch that are blue screening. The combat rifle, I pretty much pick it up and immediately put it away. Don't even do the quest for it, because when I tried to use it, it would, every time I'd shoot, it would make the sound continue. So I'd continuously hear the gun going off, and the only way that I could find to fix it was to get out of my armor. So I don't feel like that's a very good option to download that. Plus, it's really not that great of a gun. It's not terrible, but it's really not that good. Alright, there's another Pulaski Center right there. That's added in by that mod. Alright, so just to show you where to go, because this place has worked better than any other place I've found so far. So I'm going to leave my power armor up here and keep the, sorry, I had something in my hand. Keep the Sentinel away from that area, because I don't want him yelling at me. He's got Liberty Prime's voice, and he can be loud in small areas. I'm gonna get out of my armor. I don't want somebody stealing it should there be a attack, so I'm gonna take the core out. So back here, so this is where your house would be from the beginning of the game. The next blue house down the road, if you don't know where this place is at, is right here, and you're gonna go between these bushes around to the back. Right there. This spot usually works for me after a couple tries, but you never know. So I'm going to try this a couple times. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and I have to go back, and thankfully I did keep up with my saves, but alright, it worked that time. Awesome. So I would highly suggest this spot after trying that many times. So come in here. There's usually a bunch of other stuff in here, some gold bars, you know, safe with some random stuff, you know, all sorts of stuff, some beer, med kit, well, not med kit, but you know what I mean. So yeah, try that. Now I've got it saved, so the best option is to close my game, and don't go to quit, because that does a exit save. So it'll save it again, and it can make another corrupt file, so don't do that. Just immediately close out of the game and shut off your console, unplug it. I just unplug it from the back of the console so I don't have to get behind the TV, and then plug it back in after at least 30 seconds, and then restart your game. You know, restart the console, restart your game, and it should allow you for at least a couple more saves before it happens again. So I hope this video has been helpful to some of you, and if you have any advice, particularly for PS4 players, PS5, I appreciate any advice you can give, but PS5, Xbox, and PC run way better and way more smoothly and don't have as many loading problems. And I don't believe that Creation Club content's like armor and weapon skins, I don't believe that that's got anything to do with it. I think it's an issue with loading. I might be wrong. I'm no tech genius by any means at all, but I don't feel that that's the case. So causing it to load repeatedly might actually fix it. So make sure you're changing your area. You find a nice small location like this, preferably this spot, because this is the one place I've gotten it to save the most. So again, I hope this has helped. Please share any comments. If it's helped you out in any way, please leave a like or subscribe, and I will try to find a way that I might be able to record it on my cell phone and be able to post a video showing where it pops up, all the details, my saves, all that kind of stuff, so you can see it a bit better. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.